Rather than a record-breaking fall.
Exactly.
13 1 3/4 it was.
Exactly, but it is an outdoor collegiate record.
And I'll tell you what, you don't have to worry about 13 1 3/4 or 13-2 because she's going to go far above that.
It's only a matter of time. The unfortunate thing about this is because of the sexist lag in international competition, people like her won't be able to go to the Olympic Games.
So if I had to summarize my experiences, a common theme is overcoming perceptions of limitations. I feel like I did that with pole vault. Women could pole vault. And then here at BYU, I feel like I have the opportunity to facilitate opportunity and belonging for everyone. I was born on September 20th, 1977. My dad worked in construction. And growing up in our household, my mom stayed at home. It's probably a very typical working class family. In our family, we know how to work. And I feel like that comes from my grandmother and my grandfather, and that heritage of like not having a lot. I can't remember if it was 2 or 3, but I was young when I started gymnastics. I love to win. In fact, it's been a hard thing as I've gotten older to realize that it's not the only thing. There are other things that matter. But I think dreaming big and also like I was a little bit of an underdog, right? I didn't come from like a family that had a legacy of gymnastics or a lot of resources. I made the decision to quit gymnastics and turn my attention to a different sport. So this is right as I was starting high school. And I decided to try out for the track team. And at the time, women weren't allowed to pole vault. And in fact, I didn't even think about it. I didn't even consider pole vaulting until one day, my sophomore year, I was running and noticed that the pole vaulters were sitting around on a bench, listening to music, eating snacks. Once in a while, they'd take a jump. Then they just like sit and hang out. And so I was razzing them, like, you guys don't even work hard. Look at me, I'm over here running, throwing up, killing myself, and you're like eating chips and like listening to music. And they were like, no, you don't understand. Pole vaulting is so hard. And so I was like, well, why don't you tell me, what do you do? And so they started to explain it to me, like, okay, you lift the pole up, you hold it up, you run down, you put the pole in the box. And of course, they didn't realize that I had been a gymnast. So all of those instructions were very easy for me to follow. So I said, well, why don't you give me a pole and let me try? I grabbed the pole and I thought about what they said, ran down, put the pole in the box, and I cleared the bar. And my coach about died. He was like, she's better than all of you. Really what happened in that moment is my coach recognized that I could pole vault. So we immediately started having me practice pole vault. And then the next track meet we had, he asked if I could compete. Now, of course, there's no women's pole vault. That's not a thing. And so I competed with the JV boys, and I did great. And people just were floored because at the time, everyone thought that women couldn't pole vault. And so it was pretty neat for people to be, seeing me pole vault. So it was really fun to be part of this group that's like, no, this is super fun. And guess what? We can do it. And then as soon as I started doing it, within a few weeks, there were quite a few other women who started doing it. And actually, by the end of that first year, there were a lot of women that started doing it. So keep in mind, because it's a new sport, there's no, like when you go to the California State track meet, there's no women's pole vault. Whatever body like runs California State high school track and field championships allowed women's pole vault to be contested my senior year. And so I got to compete at the state track meet and I won. So I won the NCAA National Championship, Indoor Championships in 1999 and in 2000. And it was fantastic. Winning that track meet was a highlight of my life.
Melissa Price, congratulations. You're the first woman ever to win the indoor NCAA women's pole vault, and you've made big-time history tonight. What are your thoughts on that?
It's very exciting. It's a goal I set a couple years ago, and it's great to finally be here and to actually be able to win.
In 1996, I had competed in Olympic trials. Olympic trials were in Atlanta, and it was great. I placed second, so if the pole vault had been contested in Atlanta, I would have made the Olympic team. So in 2000, I had planned in 1996, I said, I will try out again in 2000 for the Olympics. So I did. I worked my tail off for 4 years, training, practicing, doing all the things that I needed to do. And in 2000, the Olympic trials were held in Sacramento, so in California. And that day, I went out and I competed, and I tied for the highest jump that I had ever jumped. So I did my best, but that jump tied me for 4th place. The 4th place spot doesn't go to the Olympics. And when I finished that track meet, my mom, she came up to me and said, Missy, she was crying, I'm just devastated for you. You've worked so hard. You deserve to go, and you didn't make it. And she's like, are you disappointed? And I said, no, I am not disappointed. I came out, I trained hard, I jumped the best that I've jumped, and this day, 3 other women just jumped higher, and I can live with that.
Women have to prove themselves regularly to have a seat at the table. There are a lot fewer women in the Marriott School and in the accounting program than men. And what's interesting about BYU and the accounting program is that there are fewer women in accounting than there are men. BYU's culture is a little bit different. So it is kind of fun that I've had some experience in like these kinds of situations and thinking about, well, if we have more women who want to do accounting, but there are reasons they feel an added layer of heaviness because maybe there isn't a lot of women, there might be discouragement from their male colleagues. I have experience with that, so I can help maybe to navigate that situation. And honestly, I think that we do have to navigate it.